Greetings and welcome to another episode of Pinball Stories. This is basically the stories behind the games, how they were picked up, the provenance, little bits of information about them. Every pinball machine has a different story, and this series I go over some of the games in my collection and how I picked them up and some interesting anecdotes about them. And this one is a really interesting particular story. This is a very particular interesting game. This is Atari's Airborne Avenger. This is one of the few pinball machines made by Atari, the video game company, and you may not even know this, but they did make pinball machines. It's stuffed here in the back corner of this room, and I haven't even started restoring it yet. So this is one I'm going to be doing a series of videos on when I get around to it. But let's take a look at it. Let me clear some stuff off of here because it's got all kinds of weird things laying on it. Little royal flush back glass mounted in the thing right there, but let's ignore that. So this is a wide body. It's a really cool, interesting game, and it's in amazing condition. There's like no wear on the play field. It's pretty filthy. Look at that. Ugh, look at that. This has not been wiped out. It's been stuffed in the back corner of this room here for a long, long time, and I haven't gotten around to messing with it. It's interesting, and let me tell you a little bit about this game. Atari made just pinball machines for a few years. They were trying to break into the pinball thing, and it just didn't work out. And one of the reasons it didn't work out is because some of the engineering of the pinball machines were a little bit off, so the games had a reputation of not being super reliable. That's one of the reasons why you're often apt to see these games, and they're in surprisingly good condition compared with games that are their contemporaries, like the early solid-state Bally's, which are often beat up because they just got played so much. These games, much lower production. There's actually the video display is under the apron right here. The scores are there, and this is your credit and your ball count. It's a pretty cool, neat game. And I don't even know if this thing works. Believe it or not, I've never even looked inside of it. Is that crazy? So how I came across this game is kind of a really weird, interesting, odd story. It was just a complete accident. I was in Dallas for the Texas Pinball Festival one year, and must have been probably 10 years ago. No, maybe not 10 years. Might have been. I don't know, but it is quite a ways ago. Maybe not quite 10, but I'm at the festival and playing all these games, having fun, hanging out with all my friends and doing all of this normal stuff you do at these pinball conventions, which, by the way, I've got videos of walkthroughs of many of these events on my channel at YouTube/PinballHelp. So you could go there and you can find my walkthroughs where I go to these festivals and I show you what it's like and all the games. So one particular time I was, I was at the Texas Pinball Festival and I was wandering around, and it's like, it's a big, why is that thing doing that? Oh, okay, sorry. So it's got, and there's something special about this game too. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. You'll notice there's a signature right up there on the upper left next to the guy's head. Whose signature is that? Anybody want to take a guess? So I'm wandering around the room and I see this game stuck in a corner, just off in a corner, and I don't remember if there was a name or a number on it, but I think it said for sale, and there was a telephone number. So I called the number and I'm like, "Hey, you got the Airborne Avenger? What's the deal on this? Blah blah blah." And the guy tells me the story of how he got it, which was really interesting. So he was bringing some games to the Texas Pinball Festival, and he's out in the parking lot, and he's moving some games, and somebody is just driving by the convention center where this event is happening, and they see all these people with pinball machines, and this woman pulls up to him, and he's just out there moving stuff, and she says, "Hey, y'all doing some kind of pinball thing here? I got a game back at my house. If you want it, come get it, And he's like, "Well, what kind of game?" "I don't know, just one of them pinball machines." So he follows her. He just hops in his car, follows her to wherever she lives, and pulls this out of the garage, and then brings it back to the festival, and just throws it in the thing and sticks a little for sale sign. He literally probably had it 20 minutes before I called him and said, what's the story on this game? And he tells me the story. He's just, he was just, some woman just saw him with a pinball machine in the parking lot and said, hey, come get one. I got one at my house. You can have it or whatever. I don't know if he bought it or she gave it to him or what. But he brings the game back. He throws a for sale thing. I call. I said, you know, we're haggling back and forth. How much you want for it? Whatever. Blah blah blah. I paid him. I don't remember what it was. It might have been like $350 or something for this game, because he didn't know. He had no idea what kind of condition it was in, whether it has complete or not. I don't even know if the system boards or anything is in the game. And so I've kind of been keeping my eyes open for Atari pinball boards to get a few of them just in case, because I have a feeling when I dive into this, there may be missing pieces. Or it might completely work. I promise you guys, there will be some videos where I pull this thing out and start messing with it. I'm just trying to clear some space. So anyway, I make a deal. I get the game. I pick it up. Well, I knew nothing about the game at that time, so I'm researching it, and I realized that this is a very special machine. This is Steve Ritchie's very first pinball that he did, very first pinball machine. His first job designing pinballs was working for Atari, and this is the game that he designed. There were only 350 of these made. That's it. Talk about a rare game. Not only is the artwork just spectacular, this is the same art that all the Atari stuff did. They had this absolutely brilliant art guy who was just absolutely amazing, and he did this. The stylized look of his work is just magnificent. I could have that stuff hanging on my wall all day. It's just beautiful. It's just got the really, I don't know, his aesthetic is just amazing. I've always loved the art. You know, all the cartridges and all that stuff designed by this guy. I think even the logo was done by the same artist. And I'm sorry that it doesn't escapes me right now, but maybe I'll flash it up on the screen and put it in the description. So anyway, Steve Ritchie, this is his first pinball machine. Well, lo and behold, Steve Ritchie is at the Texas Pinball Festival. So I secure the game and I leave it stuck in the corner. And then I go and I decide I'm going to go find Steve Ritchie and see if I can get him to autograph the back glass. And obviously I was successful because, bam, there's his signature on the back glass. And it's funny, when I told him, he was hanging out, and I got a chance to go up to him, and I'd met him before, and I said, hey, you're not going to believe this. I just bought a pinball machine. Guess what I bought? And he's like, I don't know, what'd you get? I said, Airborne Avenger. He went, no shit, really? Is it here? Can I see it? He was like super duper duper excited to see the game. I don't think he's seen it in years and years and years. So he follows me back to the game, and as soon as he sees it, he just starts just unleashing this stream of consciousness monologue and rant about the game and everything. I'm like, I mentioned something about the artwork, and he says, oh, that guy got cancer, man. It was like, he seemed one day he was really healthy, and then he just came into his office and he was all gray, and he didn't last very long. It was very sad. He was really saddened by the artist passing away. And then when we started talking about the playfield, he's like, oh my God, I hate those flippers. And he apparently, Steve and Nolan Bushnell, the owner of Atari, had argued about the flipper design. Apparently there's the way the coils work, it's like a rotary action instead of a plunger action. And they just were incredibly unreliable, and they would break down often. And Steve Ritchie really, really complained about that because he felt like he got a bad rap on his design through no fault of his own, because he had nothing to do with those the design of the flipper mechanisms, and that apparently was one of the faults of this game. And in a future video, we'll find out. We'll pull this thing out and we'll get this thing playing. I promise you guys, I'm not going to get rid of this game, but I'm going to get it restored. It's just too cool and too beautiful. So that's my story of how I came across this Airborne Avenger, and it will one day live again. And just kind of being in the right place at the right time, and bam, picked it up, ran into its designer, and got the back glass assigned. So that was pretty cool. And I know I got to get on this. But I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to me tell these goofy stories about these game pickups and stuff like that. If you want to find out more, visit my website, PinballHelp.com. And subscribing is so important. The more subscribers I get, the more it kind of helps everything. So make sure you do that and hit like, and feel free to leave some comments on the video. I read everything. And thank you guys for watching. And until next time.